Okay. Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner Classic Lessons on Classics. This is episode number 2674 in Doubleshot in 1960. I have two X-Men related trades. First up is going to be New Mutants. Well, from the current run for the title, we have New Mutants by Vita, Ayala, Volume 2. Collecting issues 19 and 24 of New Mutants, Volume 4. Of course, Vita is the writer of these issues. I think this would be the second last trade because he goes to issue 30. And the artists are basically about three different artists. For 1920, it's Alex Lenz, L-I-N-S, not L-E-N-Z. Rod Reese, who does 21, 23. And 24 is done by Dana Baroff. The cover art is done by Marcus Simmons. Mostly put what happens this year. Well, mostly we deal with the Hellfire Gala. That's mostly what the first couple issues deal with in here. Just the Hellfire Gala, and of course the stuff relates to the aftermath. Like seeing, Wolfsbane, where she basically is here. And they also have ramifications of the Tri-Magneto in these issues. And X-Factor. Yep. So yeah, the first couple issues just deal with that, which good on the part of the writers remembered, oh yeah, that's what happens. As for the main issues of this trade, well, mostly put they deal with the Shadow King. Yes. Yeah, this is an old character that they pretty much in a way kind of almost in a way fully beat them in this one. Yeah, that's majority of what happens in here. Also, we see Karma, who's been out as a lesbian for decades. We finally see her get into a relationship in here with the fellow ex-woman. Yep. I don't know, mind you, but yeah, really fun stuff here. Stuff I really enjoy. We also see the return of Gabby. Yeah, Gabby, a character who previously died. Because Gabby was worried that if she died, she could come back because they couldn't be clones. But here, they basically overruled that because, well, the stuff Scarlet Witch basically feel. And there's also stuff in here with Warbird. I think it's no word. It's basically the current Warpath, where he attacks his brother, who was Red Thunderbird, who was brought back at the end of Trial Magneto. The Trial Magneto was, you might think, was it pointless? Not necessarily, no. It was mostly to figure out who killed Scarlet Witch. And she came back, and it turns the person who killed her was Toad. How? Wacky here to death with a plate. I am not kidding. So, then of course, we deal with stuff, of course. Shadow King is eventually defeated by the end of issue number 23. He basically goes off on his own. Yeah. Yeah, Wolfsbane talking to Danny Moonstar, just trying to comfort her. And of course, they mention the events of X-Factor 256 Appear David issue. Stuff related to her son, who got killed by Guido and has not been resurrected yet for some reason. Yeah, I don't think he's resurrected yet. How did Guido kill him? Stabbing him with a pitchfork. I'm not kidding. He killed a kid with a freaking pitchfork. And he lost his soul. He revived Monette and kicked her out. Also was implied that he was in love with her. Eventually, of course, he was removed as the King of Hell by the Thunderbolts, who put Mephisto back in charge, and Guido went back on his own. Guido, I think, later showed up pages of New Mutants' Dead Souls. That's pretty much it for him. We have this wonderful scene where, like you see here, we see John and Jimmy basically reuniting, which is so nice. And Gabby basically interacting with her brother. Like being so happy to see him, of course. And then we have where you have Karma kissing a girl. Yeah, fun fact. Here's the thing about Karma. Did you know this? I think she's been out as a lesbian for a long time. She wasn't shown in bed with a woman until Karen Gillian wrote Uncanny X-Men. No joke. That's how long it took. Because I think she was outed back in like the early 90s. And it took until like basically around the late 2000s for her to finally be in bed with a woman. And obviously, a relationship with a woman with angel wings, which is so nice. I have no problem with Kara being in a relationship. Yeah, one of the very few open lesbian characters. And then we have the thing end with Magic talking to Madeline Pryor. Like asking everything he wanted. I'm listening. Yeah, of course, Madeline Pryor wearing her Goblin Queen attire. Which, no denying, Madeline Pryor is sexy. Is a very beautiful woman. Despite the fact she's Jean Grey's clone and the mother of Cable. Yes, this beautiful woman is the mother of Cable. That is not a joke. And basically by the fact that Hope is basically Cable's adopted daughter, Hope is Madeline Pryor's granddaughter. Who she has never met. I'm not kidding. Hope has never met Madeline Pryor. Never. Yep. Next up, we got some interesting up with this one. We have Hellions by Zeb Wells. Volume 2 of 3, because next trade is the last one here. Yeah. Collecting issues 7 through 12 of Hellions. Excuse me. This comes Ravents of X of Swords. Because that was the event that previously happened for this one. And throughout this book, basically, now, aside from Zeb Wells as the writer, we have, unlike in the case of News, which had three artists for about 5 issues, this one has 1. Yes, Steven Segovia. Yep. The cover art, they do change this one. Mostly it's him with Rain Barriers issue 7, 9 to 12, and with Romo Fell Jr. Most of these issues, you have Xavier talking to the 5, and we see apparently looks like the return of somebody. I think it's supposed to be Wild Child. Yeah, it's Wild Child is brought back, and like everything resurrected properly. Though, someone I know keeps referring to the X-Men plant people. Yeah, they come out of pod like freaking clones. Yeah, they're kind of clones, yes. But they're alive. If you think about it, the only book part of the Krakatoa X that relates to the X-Men that has barely to do with Krakatoa is Wolverine. Yeah, that book is the only one that doesn't need anything to do with this. So, Kanan, who's known as Psylocke. And we have a few different things around here. Having, of course, is basically back wearing this goofy looking outfit. Yeah, do not know why, but he is. And then X-Jet is attacked by the Smiling Robots. And you're probably thinking, what group are these people associated with? Is it Friends of Humanity? Nope, not them. It is a group headed by, of all people, Cameron Hodge. Yes, Cameron Hodge. A man who's supposed to be dead. Which, last time I checked, he got killed by a freaking Warlock in the previous volume of New Mutants. How the heck is he alive, you might ask? He made a deal with Demon for eternal life. Yep. Now, Friends of Humanity, if you don't know what that group is, that was a group formed by Graydon Creed, the son of Victor Creed, a.k.a. Sabretooth and Mystique. Yes. Seriously. If I remember correctly, William Stryker formed the Purifiers, but what about Cameron Hodge, you might ask? There's actually 2 others. Actually, there's also Stephen Lang. Let's see. Cameron Hodge. His group is known as The Right. Yep, The Right. Yeah, that's his group. That's who basically appears here. That's who these smelly robots are. They are The Right. They're his anti-mutant group. Interesting though, Zeb Wells brought this group back, even though this group had not been seen since like 2009. Yeah, that was the last this group was seen. So they fight him in this story. Yes, Cameron Hodge. So after dealing with him. Oh yeah, because he's a robot. Yes, because he's a robot, because he formed version of Parallax. Yeah, the original Parallax was a virus that he formed out hard the original part of a crossover that led to the formation of Generation X. And then there was alien species called that, which apparently Warlock was part of. So after Cameron Hodge, we then see, of all people, the original mastermind, Jason Wingard, a man who was killed by the legacy virus back in the 1990s. If I remember hearing correctly, I believe he was actually one of the first victims. If I remember reading correctly, he was one of the first victims of the legacy virus. And he stayed dead for a long time. His daughters pretty much took up his job. Yeah, his two daughters. One called herself Mastermind, and the other called herself Lady Mastermind. Yeah, and they're both smoking hot. Yeah. Yeah, why in the world he's doing here, I don't know. The thing with Mastermind is, he has this thing of he's a creepy old man. And he, back in his early appearances, he had an obsession with the Scarlet Witch. The way that Stan Lee kind of wrote him, and if you could tell from my perspective, it's like he really wanted to have sex with the Scarlet Witch. He was lusting after her a lot. That's basically told from a modern perspective. Back then, basically, he was just a creepy old man. And also, he also had a thing for Jean Grey. He wanted to sleep with her too because she's hot. That's Mastermind for you. This creepy old man wants to sleep with a young, beautiful woman. First, it's Scarlet Witch. Now it's Jean Grey. He was kind of manipulating her related to the Dark Phoenix Force. Also, he became a member of the Hellfire Club. Yes, a founding member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants became a member of the Hellfire Club, a group that was formed back in the 1970s. Which was created by Chris Claremont and John Byrne, which are based upon the real-life Hellfire Clubs, which there is a alleged rumor I've heard that apparently the real-life Hellfire Clubs, based in Europe, that according to the legend, Benjamin Franklin was once an associate member of that group. Yes, Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of this country, was once basically a member of the real-life Hellfire Club. And these were sex clubs. The way Hellfire Club is been here is a little different per se. The comic version of them, is more of a PG concept where, yeah, you have Emma Frost and Celine being in very skimpy attire. But here's the thing. Unlike in the original Hellfire Clubs, where the whole thing is about having sex, not the case of the original Hellfire Club. Their whole thing was basically about pro-mutant rights, and of course, they apparently didn't like the X-Men very much, and they also have a thing of trying to stabilize, either they try to stabilize the economy, or they try to stabilize it depends on who writes them. But that's Hellfire Club for you. Yep. So yeah, Mastermind tries to poison Mr. Sinister. Yep. Yeah, then we have this wonderful moment here. We have Psylocke, or Kanan, in a bathrobe. Yep, in a bathrobe, which, okay. Yeah, by the way, there's also mention here about her daughter in here. And there's a funny moment here I got handed to Zeb Wells. He occasionally has very good humor. Where he's like, riding in this weird stretch limo, he says, "This is weird. Peter, put that down. It's Pete, and you're not my mom." I can't say Eustace. Yes, this is Nanny telling Orphan this. This is so funny. No. Yeah, then of course Master his manipulations. And then for some reason we have Arcade show up with Miss Lockley, his assistant. Yes. Arcade. A long-time X-Men villain. Even though he was not originally a villain of theirs. He was a Spider-Man villain that apparently Chris Claremont dumped him in the X-Men books and has been associated with them ever since then. He is one of several X-Men characters who made a first appearance in a non-X-Men book. Aside from him, these following characters did not appear in an X-Men book: Mystique, Deathbird, Rogue, well, of course, also Arcade. I'm trying to think who else. Who else is X-Men villain? Oh, Sabretooth, Wolverine. I'd say Longshot because Longshot's book was not part of the X-Men books a little bit later. So yeah, then we have to deal with Arcade here. And then we have Kanan dealing with her stuff related to her daughter. We have basically John Greycrow dealing with stuff related to apparently look like Vietnam, apparently. We have Wolverine fighting Sabretooth. Well, it's Wildstorm's aggression, which is apparently we're having Wildchild fight a version of Sabretooth and Wolverine. Wolverine in my least favorite Wolverine costume. Nanny being Nanny. Yeah, and then of course you have Havoc trying to get to Madeline, which was really stuff to. Then we have a crazy version of Psylocke. What the heck? And apparently, like, we have Kanan with her daughter, and apparently she's forgotten her daughter's name. After everybody breaks out of their thing, of course you have Havoc be humiliated by Madeline Pryor. By the way, the whole thing with Psylocke looking like this, it reminds me a lot of Mojo. And here's the weird thing. Despite having the whole Mojo aesthetic in here, Mojo is not in these issues. Nope, he is nowhere to be seen. I do not know why. Yeah, and of course, Havoc basically back to normal. You have Psylocke acting crazy, though the real Psylocke shows up. And of course, Betsy threatens to kill Jason. Yep. Everything goes hunky-dory. Jason basically gets and we have Jason reveal something about John Greycrow. What made him so happy? They never knew I was here. And of course, you have Jason telling Kanan, says, Greycrow likes you, you know. I peeked. Do not talk to me again. Do not look my way. Test me, and I'll take your head. Yes, agreed. Your friend-ish are happy. Yeah, so Kanan knows that John Greycrow likes her. Why not? She's hot. They have Alex Summer. You have Havoc wearing this goofy attire who looks like he's like going to a space opera. What the heck? Yeah, but they have Kanan dressing like this. Oh my gosh, she's hot. and of course you have Jocker like, yeah, okay. We won't be late. You're in charge. You go, yeah, okay. That's not just, by the way. And we need a drink. Yep, and we're leading into stuff related to Hellfire Ayala. Yep. We deal with what the Hellions were up to during the whole Hellfire Ayala stuff. We have we have a little fight here. Yep. And then Mr. Sinister gets kidnapped. Well, then of course he's actually really weird. A little scar on his head. And that's what he is looking at, and that's the trade here. Gotta admit, this was pure fun. I love this book. I give this book roughly 9.5 out of 10. I have roughly one more trail to go for this series, and that's it. Excuse me. Yeah. Such a really good series. I really enjoyed it. Sad it ended definitely 18 issues. Last year, I believe it ended, I think it was not long after Hellfire Ayala, because Hellfire Ayala, that event was really odd. Aside from the fact that a lot of people are pretty pointless when it came out in 2021. The problem I have with it is that not long after the particular event, we have a restart of a series and half the X-Men line being axed. This is what it looks at axed. So X-Core, Join the Atom, X-Factor, that led to a mini-series, and nothing much else related to X-Factor. Well, that was a different version. Yep. But yeah, two really good stuff here, so that's it. That's a particular view. Next episode will be My Hero Academia. Okay, next video. Bye.